Hello and welcome to yet another Homestuck episode. They just keep happening and they'll never stop wheeling in a Homestuck episode of 91 Reasons.
Episode 26 for those of you keeping count. 26. You could conceivably start with episode 1, play it continuously, and you would be into the next day.
Yep.
24 plus hours of you going on and on and on about Homestuck. Who knew there was this much to talk about? Are you as surprised as anybody?
Not really. I mean, there's a lot of content.
6 years of content.
I mean, we're counting all of the comics content. We're counting all of the music team's content. All of the community content, which gets into animations, fan songs, animations, you know. You got Paradox Space, sort of a side canon thing. What else you got? Hive Swap, you know? I mean, the game was announced 2012.
But you guys also follow Hussey's personal life. We were just talking about that in the car today. Like, that's your obsession. Like, where he goes to, you know, like the fast food restaurants that he goes to. Taco Bell, Subway. All right, welcome to 91 Reasons. I am the voice. I am Jeff Tucker. I am your normal host, but every week, once a week, we sit down with our resident Homestuck experts who are
Austin,
Luna,
and they guide us. They are spirit guides through the ethereal world of Homestuck. And you guys all know this because you've tuned in. We have hundreds of listeners around the world listening to you guys pontificate about Homestuck. We have pledgers. This episode is sponsored by Patreon pledger Vriska. Vriska, the character from the comic itself, has been
mind controlling,
supporting the show. Yes,
they have taken their control of you, and they're taking control of the narrative of 91 Reasons.
Well, I got a funny letter because the last few episodes I've talked about Act 2 and how it is the perfect antidote if you can't sleep. You put it on and you just yawn. I mean, no offense.
Most of us agree.
You guys like it. Even you admit it's
slow moving.
Yeah. So Vriska wrote me and said, "Look, go ahead and start Act 3, but if it bores you, then by all means stop watching, because I think they can hear it in my voice that I'm really giving this the best shot." So we just watched about nearly a half an hour of Act 3.
25 minutes. That's a normal TV show time.
Yeah, and basically I learned that Jade Harley lives on an island, and she has a atrium full of flowers that grow out of the table, and she can teleport herself. She has a t-shirt that changes images. She's obsessed with squiddles. She's very into combining food to make food. And most disturbingly, she has a weird fixation on furries.
Not the bad kind. Those won't ruin the comic till Act 5.
Okay, well, yeah, we don't cast judgment here. Whatever you're into is fine with us. If you're a furry and you're listening, that's fine. But like some people like tapioca, I don't like tapioca. So it's just one of those things that if you don't like, if I like it and you don't like it, and I like it and you, whatever, don't matter.
Have you been liking Act 3 better so far? What you've seen?
Well, yes and no, because you guys go, well, it's going to get better, and yet it still opens with her opening her captcha log and talk. And Austin's so funny. He turns to me and he goes, "Did you catch that the captcha log's full of Milton Bradley games?" And I'm like, "Oh no, duh, dude." Like Monopoly and Jenga and Battleship.
In the 20 minutes you watched, a new character was introduced, and there were 5 flashes.
Oh yeah, no, the show itself is more dynamic,
yeah. But
they're not telling any more of the story. That's the problem. No. Even the guy says, "Let's find a way to move this plot forward."
But you gotta. They show the biggest one was when she's playing her guitar, and they show that she's living on the island.
Yeah, she's living on the island with the monkey the frog statue.
The frog statue that the meteor hit when it came out of the suburb-shaped portal back in the dinosaur age.
Yes.
And now in the future, WV is landing his can-shaped spacecraft, landing in the island. But now it's a crater because it's been a few hundred years.
Right. Wayward vagabond.
Do you think Jade's the best kid?
No, the best kid is obviously Dave Strider. Yeah. He has weapons, and he's into puppetry, which is very cool. And he's into music and dropping sick beats.
But Jade plays bass, and she has weapons. He's a markswoman and has guns.
She's the character that the girls identify with. There's nothing wrong with that. But for all you adolescent males, Dave Strider represents the cool guy. I mean, he wears the shades. He's got... I mean, listen, I don't know about you guys, but in my generation, we always had a friend who you went to his house and he's like, hey, man, I got some shuriken throwing stars and a katana. And it was my friend Eric Hardy. And Eric Hardy always had real ninja weapons. And I go, Eric, where did you even go to get these? Black market. You went to the black market? Yeah, where's that? Yeah, it's downtown. Yeah. And like one time, like, you know what a katana, not a katana, but a sai. You know, it's like a silver thing, looks like a tuning fork, and you can battle with them. They're not sharp, but they're like blunt that you battle with. He convinced me one time to take it to school. It's a lucky idea. Like, you kids today would get arrested. Back then, like I've told you guys, like I once went to school with a Freddy Krueger glove I had made from aluminum cans and attached real steak knives to. And all the teacher was like, hey, Jeff, put that away. Today they'd be like, oh my God, he's a killer. But that just goes like Dave Strider's the kid everybody wants to be. Or, it's the kid you know that you're terrified of but secretly like. You don't have that, Austin, because you don't have a lot of friends. It's not a bad thing. What do you call the kids at your school? What? Uncultured swine.
Yes.
Toy Story reference. You scream it at them.
Well, yeah.
They go, what are those horns? And you scream,
uncultured swine.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not talking out of school, so to speak. Right.
Okay, but ignoring the obscure webcomic itself, these kids don't know anything about pop culture. I said...
You know about the kids you go to school with?
Yeah.
No, they're into rap, hip-hop, Kanye West.
We were trying...
They watch the Kardashians.
Well, we were trying to find a music for a dance project once, and they said, how about the Walk You song? And I'm like, oh, Queen, there's much better songs by them we could use. And they said, Queen, who's she? Yeah. And I just like, oh my God, you guys know nothing.
Listen, you'll never go broke overestimating the intelligence or underestimating the intelligence of the average teenage kid. The kids who listen to our show who are into Homestuck arguably are the most intelligent ones at school and therefore the most alienated, the most dying to get out of school. This is their escape. So I get all that. For me, it was Dungeons and Dragons. You guys have Homestuck. There's not much difference there.
Yeah.
Each one is looking for an escape. The problem is that your friends are all bathing in the sewer of current culture. Miley Cyrus and Justin Bieber and garbage. And the sad part is I feel bad for you guys because you guys as a generation, the millennials, should rise up and demand better role models because the ones you got suck. And you're also stuck in a sad situation where the people who do terrible things are so easily forgiven and welcomed back. Chris Brown beats up Rihanna and he still performs on award shows. In my generation, he would have been shunned and never invited back.
What was that movie we just saw a trailer for that you were just repulsed by? It was like about a serial killer or something.
Which one?
It was about a gangster film. You were just shocked by it. Because, like, the trailer was showing him being all cool, beating people to a pulp.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the new Johnny Depp movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, I enjoy those movies. I have seen Goodfellas a million times, Casino, Godfather 1, 2, and not 3. But, I love those movies. But the thing I remarked to you was that we as a society... And I can only really speak for American culture because obviously cultures around the world are different and we have listeners around the world. So when I'm predominantly speaking about American culture. We are obsessed with rewarding people who are criminals. And I don't get that because if you live your life and you go to work every day and you work hard and you provide for your family, they're never going to make a movie about you. But if you get up and beat somebody with a gun and then shoot 3 people, rob a bank, and then fly off a bridge and blow yourself up, there will be a movie the following week starring Neil Patrick Harris as you. Thank you. That's a Simpsons reference. But, like, we are obsessed with criminals. It's a very bizarre thing. We admire them. I mean, you've been to Vegas. We've seen the Bonnie and Clyde car. They have a car encased in plexiglass that its big claim to fame is 2 criminals who went on a crime spree were gunned down in it. And they put it on display. They put it on display where we really now we have museums where you can go see actual accomplishments that people have done. Of course there is. But as far as wallowing in pop culture, that's what we admire. What's the most striking thing to come out of Batman in the last 10 years? The Joker.
Yeah.
Who's a criminal of all criminals. And when he does steal all the money, what does he do to it? He sets it on fire. So he's not even a good criminal. He goes, do I look like a guy with a plan? You're like, yeah, you've got the most complicated plan I've ever seen. You've got 2 boats, one full of criminals, one full of good guys, and they got bombs. I'm a normal person. I couldn't come up with this, and the Joker did. But I'm just saying that in the Batman movies, Batman is boring.
Yeah.
We love the villains. And in real life, we love the villains. And I don't know how we're ever going to break that cycle. I mean, if you've ever had crimes visited upon you, and God willing, you don't. But if you ever had that, you'd think differently. Like, my father was shot in a robbery. He was killed. Your grandfather, you were robbed of him because he himself was robbed. And in the grand scheme of things, they're never going to exalt a guy who got up every morning, dragged himself out of bed and worked hard, because it's boring. We rather dream about the people and thug culture who run around blazing guns and steal from people who don't have money to steal. The movie The Wolf of Wall Street was all about that. Oh. It was a 3-hour gross fest exalting a guy who robbed everybody and got away with it. And Leonardo DiCaprio chewed the scenery playing this guy. Everybody thought he deserved an Oscar for playing one of the most reprehensible, grotesque men in the history of mankind, who robbed normal, hardworking people of their life savings. But you go see the movie, and the guys who go to see it are like, man, I want to be like him. No, you don't. Nobody wants to be like that. But there are people who do.
Your point.
There's my point.
But I think if there's one thing I have to nag at for the new console, it's the music. Why is music so bad nowadays?
What's interesting, I just saw a report that said they studied all the songs out of the 80s, and the songs today actually have a more varied musical scaling than the songs in the 80s. I.e., all the songs in the 80s sound the same. Well, that's fine, because what they sounded like, I like.
Yeah.
But I grew up with those, so I have a different view. But no, I don't understand why the music today has to be so dirty and so gross, and you have to really seek out to find music that makes you feel good, that's uplifting, that's not about somebody for 3 minutes telling you how great they are.
I found that. I have found a album on Bandcamp that is so good. I can't stop listening to it. All right. So, I always used to listen to Homestuck music, you know? I loved Homestuck music, and then I discovered the Homestuck album Mobius Trip and Hadron Collider, which I've talked about a lot on this podcast. So I listened to those songs for death, and they got boring, right? And then I found Bowman's other album. Now, Bowman sang most of the songs. He worked with who's the other person who worked on Mobius Trip? Tavra Muya?
I don't know her name. It's his girlfriend.
Yeah. Her name. Bowman did his own album of music called Ithaca. This is so good. Please give this a listen. The whole album's like a little over 30 to 40 minutes. Like, it's really short. Oh my god, it's so good. And it sounds just like his Homestuck music. Like, it's got the same feel to it. And it's like, it's weird to discover music that was made modern that's so good, you know?
I recommend the Dude 3445's music album.
No.
Great. His Car Cat song is amazing.
No. Don't. Listen, I'm telling you, if you ever listen to Mobius Trip, listen to that first, obviously.
His number one album, The Baby Is You.
Oh yes, it's an opera.
We're not allowed to talk about that.
We aren't?
No, that's illegal to talk about.
Oh.
I'm getting banned from the SPA forums now if Rachel's listening to this.
Oh, Rachel's listening.
She's found me. I've been banned.
Listen to Mobius Trip and then listen to Ithaca. I'm telling you. Good Homestuck music, good music in general, okay? Even though Ithaca isn't Homestuck, it's still made by Bowman. It's got the same feel to it.
What's the significance of the name of the album, Mobius Trip? Do you know what that means?
A Mobius strip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a thing with
Which is a thing that never ends.
It never ends. It's one side that curves into the other.
Nice.
And what is Hadron Collido? That one I haven't found the origin
What is it?
for. Hadron Collido. That's the girl's name.
Hadron Collido?
Yeah. Mobius
I don't know.
Trip
It sounds like
Hadron Collido.
it sounds like a hydrogen collider. I wouldn't worry. Each of us is wearing an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on its back. Next time you'll think twice before you slime somebody with a positron collider. That's some nerd stuff right there. So we should say that Luna graduated high school this week. Let's hear it for her. Come on. So give us some sage advice now that you are officially an adult. You have nothing to offer.
I'm
26
lost
hours
in the world.
26 hours of podcasting, and we're asking you to come up with something poignant to say. You've graduated. You actually physically picked up your diploma today.
I could
never have to go back to school unless you want to.
Never give a baby dual flintlock pistols.
Yeah, there we go.
I would say
But you didn't graduate. You still have to go to school tomorrow.
no, wait, I have some advice here. My graduation advice.
Please,
Please
give it to us.
I am first off, I'd like to thank the Academy.
Oh my god.
Always keep 7 computers on yourself at all times, like a sensible person.
I'd like to thank Andrew Hussey.
For what? Everything?
Everything in general.
nothing?
No, just humanimals.
Just humanimals.
Just humanimals. And then I'd like to give the advice of be true to yourself and pursue the passions that you like and do something for a living that you enjoy doing. And read all of Andrew Hussey's Humanimals on the way back, Messina. Actually, don't. Don't ever look it up. Don't do it.
Do it.
That's it, huh?
Yep.
Now you have to go back to school tomorrow.
Yes.
What did I tell you should do? Finish your last final. First off, you should wear that shirt that they told you not to wear.
Oh my god, yes. I see what my car cats are tomorrow.
Finish your last final. And when you're finished, push your chair back loudly, stand up, and go, I'm out of here, suckers. And then just walk out the gate. Because we're moving, and you're not going back to that school.
Well, my last final's even better than that. See, I'm taking my last final in the morning. There's still 3 hours left in the day. We're going to be watching all of Avatar.
That's a colossal waste of everybody's time and the taxpayers' money.
But
what are you supposed to learn watching Avatar other than to shun Sam Worthington?
To save the planet and all about ecosystems and environmental protection.
Jake English.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, Jake Inglis. You haven't got
It's
to...
super important. Act
Yeah.
6 is it's super important to watch Avatar before watching Homestuck Act 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I won't be doing that. I saw it, I think I saw
You've seen it.
I've seen it 3 times, so
As
I
long
think
as
I know
you
the gist.
can recognize the characters and know the metaphor Hussey's trying to make.
Now, if you had to watch a James Cameron movie, which one are you going to pick? Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, or True Lies? Or
Aliens.
Titanic or Avatar?
Ooh.
Probably Aliens.
Aliens?
I think Aliens is the only good one on the list.
No. Terminator and Terminator 2 are fantastic. And
yes.
True Lies is one of the best movies of the 90s. You've never even seen it, though.
No.
Yeah, but it's the 90s, you're saying, yeah. Like, what
You can't
movies come out...
dismiss a whole decade because you don't like a few things.
Okay, I'm saying it right
Even
now.
a broken clock is right twice a day.
I think everyone who walked out of the movie theater who saw the Mario Bros. Movie said the 90s is doomed. That's it. You walk out going...
It began
They're
on,
like
on a low
Marios.
note and just went downhill.
Yeah, you just walk out and you go, cinema's dead.
But then Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Toy Story.
Jurassic Park, Toy Story, Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Shawshank Redemption, Waterworld,
Yes.
Fight Club, The Game,
Waterworld is more important than Avatar for Act 6. You also have to know
Seven,
Waterworld.
Phantom Menace, The Matrix, Fight Club, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. These are all 90s movies. Of course, you also have to have Johnny Mnemonic. I can't get back. Tank Girl. You should watch Tank Girl. Lori Petty plays a girl in the apocalyptic wasteland who is battling a man whose head gets cut off and replaced by a holographic image of the same head. And she teams up with a race of giant kangaroos led by a fully make-upped Ice-T.
Without the money from Tank Girl, the creator of Tank Girl would have never went on to create the greatness that is the Gorillas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I'm not begrudging the guy for doing a cult comic, because the comic's great, but the movie is just schlock. But hey, I wish someone had made one of my scripts into schlock in the 90s, and I got that check. I'm not begrudging that at all.
How can this guy get out a Tank Girl movie but can't make a 5-minute gorilla sword? What the heck? Okay.
He had a fallout with his friend. They're getting back together.
In all seriousness, we got Con Air and Hook in the 90s, so
yeah,
we pretty much think 90s for the creation of Homestuck. I mean, Earthbound, Con Air,
Earthbound
Hook.
was late 80s.
Was it? Really?
Because in Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Can you crow like Pan? Go.
What?
Can you crow like Pan? He does in the movie.
No.
No. You do Bangarang.
Bang-a-wang, you know?
That's it, huh?
That's weak. That was weak.
That was so weak. That was one of the worst Bangarangs I've ever heard.
I can't.
No, the worst banger you ever heard is the Skrillex song.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
You lost me at Skrillex.
He wrote a song called Bangarang,
Yeah.
and it's just Rufio's voice remixed.
That's great. What's he doing in Wreck-It
Ralph?
I mean, if you
Wreck-It Skrillex, Wrecking the
What
movie.
game is he from?
What?
What arcade game is he from?
No, he's the electronic dance music guy. You know, he's gonna be in there. Well, you know what? The ironic thing would have been to put Deadmau5 in there, but that would have been way too cerebral for Disney to put the guy wearing the fake Mickey Mouse head in the movie. All right, this show is spiraling out of control. There's all these listeners around the world going 20 minutes in, and they haven't done anything Homestuck new.
Yeah.
What's new on the Homestuck front?
Well,
go ahead.
Just like every other episode comes out, bam, Hive Swap news, just like that.
The day after the show, there's always Hive Swap news.
I'm really thinking we should just start doing more of these shows so we can get more Hive Swap news out of it.
Oh, yeah. So this week, they showed off the new troll. It's the second best at memes heiress to the throne, but now she has a name. What is it?
I don't remember. They're way too complicated.
Remember. It's a complicated.
It's your job to remember.
Non-Homestuck name. It sounds like Tetris.
Yeah,
just call it Tetris.
Tetris Pizza is what it's called.
Yeah, we're calling her Tetris Pizza.
It was something
her
like
name
that.
Tetris Triza. It's Triza.
Okay, I'm gonna
Trizza. Triza.
With over 100 trolls in this game, I'm never going to remember their names.
No.
Ever. I mean, it took me over a year reading the comic to remember his last name is Zahak.
Yeah. I gave up on their last names, and then I got to the Alpha Trolls, and I was like, dang, I gotta learn their last names. It was like, oh, well, that's Zahak's ancestor over there. And I was like, was that Tavros? No, that was Eridan. I don't remember. It was the fish girl, right? The fish girl?
The fish girl. It's so sad that Fefri was so little in the actual comic. By Act 6, he was still the fish girl to you.
Yeah.
That is...
Oh, you mean Mina?
Oh, let's see. Fefri gets like 20 panels, something really I'm gonna say 30 to 40, something really small.
Mina's gotten triple now. But anyways, second best at memes was shown. She's got to go up against the lol shrimp creator Kritia.
Yeah.
Who's first best at memes? Who, according to Rachel on the forums today, is not a spoof of the Homestuck Reddit.
Really?
Because Rachel said that because it make perfect sense to make a game that's designed to get new readers, and then base an entire main character off a small sub fandom of an old comic.
Wow. An old comic?
Homestuck. You're supposed to read Homestuck after.
But it's not even done yet.
You're supposed to read Problem Sleuth after Homestuck.
It's not even done yet.
It's supposed to be by the time Hive Swap comes out. Which is like next week.
Hussey is... He can't watch this thing anymore, but we're jumping around, skipping conversations. And, Jeff, I know you want there to be more story than, filler character development, right?
What? Yes, because all we've seen so far is set up. It's funny. It's funny you say that because while I'm watching Act 3 and we're watching 20+ minutes of a character setup, I'm used to. I write a different way. I'm used to writing get to the point as quick as possible, or the reader will lose interest, or you just need to get to it. That's like how do you describe? Like in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when you meet Marion, what is she doing when you meet her? She's having a drinking contest. It shows you she owns a bar, she's a badass, she could drink someone under the table, and she's not anyone to be messed with. All in one little, boom, that's it.
Homestuck's not about that.
Definitely not.
Making fun of text-based adventures. Every time you meet a character, you got to go through the whole process again because it's a joke.
I know, and it's funny because I thought it was Rose the whole time. You're like, no, this is a new character,
dude. This is Jade.
So, what do I know?
But
what would have to happen for you to count it as plot happening? Are the flashes in today's thing weren't enough?
No.
Showed everyone fighting.
But I've already seen that. That was a flashback, a regurgitation. That was a previously on Homestuck.
That was round 1 of Dave fighting Bro. There's 3 rounds of the fight as you go through the act.
Okay.
Well, the problem
the way that would convince me that something's happening here is the characters would do something. How many alpha kids are there? These are the alpha kids, right?
Beta kids.
Beta kids.
You don't know why they're called that for a few thousand more pages, but they're called the beta kids.
I assume they're the beta kids. They're playing a beta game.
The suburb beta, yeah. But there's more to it than that.
Okay.
A lot more to it.
But in a motion picture or a novel, these characters would have to, at some point, link up and start an adventure. They would be presented with a problem that each one has a key to figuring out. Harry Potter, and they would all meet at school. Harry Potter, right?
Well,
we're presented with the problem is that there's a guy who's come back from the dead, and he's trying to get the Sorcerer's Stone, right? And at the very end, we realize that not a single person, Harry, Ron, or Hermione, could get the Sorcerer's Stone alone. They need all 3 to figure out all the puzzles to get through. You know, Ron has to play chess. Harry has to do Quidditch. What does Hermione do? Does she play the notes to put Fluffy to sleep?
She picks the potion in the book, but it's not in the movie.
Okay.
There's a riddle you have to solve so you don't drink poison.
That's
so you
right.
drink the one that can go through the fire.
It's like same with the Goonies. When they get to the organ, if they hadn't brought Andy to play the piano, they would have all died. So I keep waiting for these kids to get together and go find One-Eyed Willie's gold.
I'll lay this out for you. When they enter the game, they are given a mission for them to solve. John is entered, and his mission is to ascend the gates and do something you'll see later. So now the other 3 kids all need to work together to enter the game. The only way you can enter the game is if you have a friend connect you and place the correct items down so you can spawn in and join the game. So right now, they're all trying to work together to get all 4 of them in. As the comic progresses, they'll get in their game. Each of their levels, they all spawn in their own level. Each level will have its main goal, and they'll have to solve that throughout the comic, where that's still pretty much ongoing today. You'll find that they start breaking the patterns you're explaining. But the overallness is they all do have unique abilities they have to use to defeat the end-game puzzles, which are mostly actual special abilities you won't see for a few thousand pages. You haven't met all the characters. It does follow the basic, this character does this character does this, they get together and solve it. There's 20 plus of those characters, and you've only met 4, plus WV.
Yeah, so, I don't understand why it's so needlessly complicated. That's the thing.
That's the Homestuck thing.
And that's because, you understand, I'm simply not used to this format. I don't understand this format. No one
is. That's what Hussey's relying on.
He said Homestuck was nothing but a small test to see if this format would work.
Yeah.
So they can make bigger pods.
And I'm not saying it's neither good nor bad, because it obviously must be working on some level, because you go to a con and there's 40 kids outside dressed as Homestuck. So it's reaching its audience and affecting them, obviously, in the correct manner that it's supposed to. So I get that. I'm just saying, because I'm an older person, I don't understand this interface and this thing. But that's not saying that it's bad, because when I wrote my novels, people told me, again, it had to have chapters, it had to do this. Mm-hmm. And I threw all that out the window and I wrote my own novel, my own format. And the people who have read it and have gotten it have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've had people tell me it's the best series they've ever read. And to me, that's amazing. Because we're talking about, I live in a world full of Harry Potter and Lemony Snicket and Dork Diaries and what's the male version of that?
Diary of a Wimpy
Kid, and Lord of the Rings, and seminal works that have lasted generations. So for somebody to give me that praise, it humbles me, because it says that my experiment, like Hussey's, worked. It clicked, because I'm telling a story that's part diary, part dossier collected by somebody you've never met. Like the weird narrator in Lemony Snicket, I watched over the Baudelaire children. Like, who is this guy? We never really know. So, yes, taking a risk is good. The problem that I have is I'm not accustomed to this many characters, so I'm having a little issue with it. But you know what? I had that same issue with The Hobbit. Remember the commercials with The Hobbit? They're like, please welcome Oing, Boing, Gloing, Heron, and I'm like, you lost me at Boing, okay? I enjoy the Lord of the Rings universe, but at some point, they're just faceless hobbit and dwarves to me, except for the main characters who then go on an adventure. This would be equal to each one of those dwarves getting 5 chapters of packing to go to Bilbo's house. You understand what I'm saying? Well, as a reader, I would never stomach that. I would tune out.
But Hussey knows how to do it. Anyone who's written like a professional breakdown of Homestuck and the story arcs of Homestuck says that Hussey is the best they've ever seen write. So 30, 20, 40, I think it was 50 plus characters, and each one is completely unique, and you can completely tell them apart and remember their names. It's all very, very simple.
They're all really well developed.
But Austin has just said in the game that's all out the window, because both of you said there's going to be so many I'll never be able to figure out.
Over 100.
12 trolls was hard enough. They just said there's going to be 100.
Yeah.
That gets a little troublesome.
Well, yeah, because if you like one, you'll like 30.
But Hiveswap only has 5 playable characters. The other ones will just show up and leave immediately. You want to stick them for so long.
You say that.
Well,
but you're going to play it and become... I know each of you will become obsessed with some ridiculous background character who appears for 3 seconds in the story. Like, Austin has spent his entire childhood obsessed with bounty hunter Bosk, who's in the movie 4 seconds. Right?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Harry Potter character?
Which one?
You.
I don't know.
Luna Lovegood.
Yeah.
She's hardly in it, but she makes an impression. So you both have a knack for zeroing in on the auxiliary and the fringe. Nothing wrong with that, but maybe that's saying something about the type of person who enjoys Homestuck, and you're saying that we all band together because we're all the people who look past the hero to the sidekick or the person that they meet and go, I want to know their story.
It's hard to do that in Homestuck because Hussey rotates around characters, so no one is on the screen for 4 seconds.
Yeah, but that's never stopped a fandom before.
Yeah.
They just find somebody to write.
We find a few
600 pages about the guy who serves them up beer one time. Like, you guys, how long did you obsess over the trolls at the subway station in that one piece of art?
Oh, yeah.
One piece of art.
You can't deny this. This is in your blood.
But in the Homestuck comic, there is no one like that. It's so...
I could think of some characters.
Here's a few I can think of. The guy who owns the house that Ryan finds some good sleep-ins in.
No, you're going way too obscure.
Calmasis, Zazerpan, Friglish, the other complacencies who are all named in Wizardy Herbert. If you read Wizardy Herbert, he gives the names of all 12 complacencies. Bone. I love Bone.
No, you're not looking...
Yif. I love just as much as Bone.
No, I think you're missing some stuff. You're not getting the point of this. I could think of some Homestuck characters that don't nearly...
The Windswept Questinant?
No, I could immediately think
I'd like to thank you for proving my point.
I could immediately think of Homestuck characters that are sort of obscure and are Flynn's characters that people like and obsess over.
Why are you trying to like Bubbles von Salamancer? He's a pretty main character, especially soon to be.
The characters I say may be considered Mazer, but when you think of them, please compare them to Vriska Socket, John Egbert, and Roxy Lalonde and Trezzy Pywerp, who at this point have gotten more screen time than anybody else in the comic.
Okay.
To the point where it even makes like Solix look Flynn's.
So your characters, alternate timelines not counting.
I count the game over selves.
No, not...
People are gonna obsess over those.
No.
I guarantee we'll see so many fan advances.
Real characters.
Fefwey's friends.
Feffery.
Eridan is friends.
Eridan is not. He's
he is.
With a full arc.
Yes, but after that arc,
That's like saying Boba Fett is a background character.
Oh, Boba Fett is a background character.
He is!
Listen, you can...
I can hand you a pile of novels written on that
written
guy.
by fans who are... No,
we're talking actual screen time.
Eredin Amplify.
He has less than a dozen lines, shows up, takes Han off, and then falls in the Sarlacc pit.
And what do
That
fans...
is the fact that...
Then he shows up as a kid.
People obsessed with him because
then,
don't.
There are 100 clones of him.
If you try to bring the prequels into this, I'm going to throw you off your own show.
Is Darth Maul a background character?
Yes,
he's
a background character.
And look, Darth Maul and Boba Fett are background characters who the fans obsess over. They write books, they cosplay.
Watto has more lines than Darth Maul.
Yeah. So yes, Eredin is Friends. He's not in the comic very long. He doesn't get much time, but for the time he does get, people really like Eredin. Normally the people who like Eredin really like Eredin's story.
What about March Eredin? I'd count March Eredin.
No, March Eredin is in the comic for one fraction of a page. That's 2 Friends. I mean, come on. You need to find someone relatable at the same time. No. That's background character. We're talking about background character that you can relate to.
The Bicyclops.
You're not seeing the point in this at all. Friends characters. Eredin,
Guy Fieri.
No!
Guy Fieri.
Look, the hilarious part, Austin, is that in the midst of your arguing with him, he's throwing out so many fringe characters that he is obsessed with. He's making your point with his jokes. You may as well do 2 hours on Insane Clown Posse.
Posse. They have a solid... They have more pages than Pfeffery.
Oh.
These are Gamgee's wall, too.
But, like, Sullux is so...
Dave sends it to him.
Okay, Sullux is Friends now. Can we agree there?
There's 4 of him.
He's still a Friends character.
Still fringe when there's 4 of him running around.
Yes, because we haven't seen those.
There's no other example to point to for that.
We don't see Sullux at all. I mean, you could even consider. Okay, Beck Noir is on the VODs because he got a lot and he's been
forgotten.
Now he's been really forgotten. But the amount he got at the start,
he was the invincible demon, the sovereign slayer.
But now we even have like. Nepeta, who is in a lot of screen time, is Friends. 100% Friends. Nepeta has her own following, her own fandom even, of people who obsess over Nepeta, and they've created this persona for Nepeta that see exercised on Latonia, and they have all these athletic Nepeta outfits they've designed.
Serenity?
Serenity? No. No? I mean, sort of Friends.
She has some secret we don't know yet.
They're probably just some alternate Calliope. I mean, just look at all the evidence.
Yeah. And then Serenity, the Firefly.
Yeah, that sounds great. I wonder where they got that from.
Like, Caliborn's not Friends. No, Waxy isn't Friends. John isn't Friends. Those are main characters. Trezzy, Vriska, not Friends. Gamzee, no. Aqueous?
Maybe.
No, he's sort of the most important character.
Current things say no. Aqueous says no. But if you count him as a different character, then yes.
But, like, Spade Slick? He's practically Boba Fett if you think about it.
Yeah.
He's become Boba Fett. He doesn't even have any dialogue. Red Vision doesn't have dialogue. He's a gangster. I mean, come on. And he doesn't show up.
I mean, he's flying in. It'll take a little over 4 hours. 2 years later.
Yep.
Here he comes.
Watch. He's gonna show up, be all cool, get thrown right into a denizen. There'll be 1,000 fan stories of him escaping. Telling you, Boba Fett right here. Long story short, some Carapacians find him, mistake him for a droid. They put him in the sand crawler.
The salamanders find him.
Yeah. That is such a good Boba Fett comic, by the way. If nobody's read that, there's this Boba Fett comic where...
What is that called?
Doom of the Jawas? What is it called?
Jawas of Doom.
Jawas of Doom. Well,
Jawas of Doom.
Boba Fett throws himself out the Sarlacc pit, and the Jawas find him and think he's a robot, and they brainwash him. It's great. But isn't it odd how people really relate to these Homestuck characters who haven't shown up in hundreds and hundreds of pages? Do you think there's a point now where we'll get to new arcs in Homestuck and like Trezzy will be Friends from now, but people will really look back on this arc and relate to it?
Page count for that.
What do you mean?
We have it's early June. By mid-July, we reach a point in the comic where Hussey says he's pretty much done drawing panels and is heading into in-game stuff.
He said that 4 years ago. Just give it up,
But
man.
this time he's drawn it in advance. He has laid out drawn panels and written text in front of him up to July, and he knows exactly where he's going after that. He's never had that before.
You're giving off a great pumpkin vibe right now.
Pumpkin.
Well, yeah. It's the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Everything you just said is a lie.
When Andrew Hussey flies over the pumpkin patch, spreading the final pages of Homestuck down upon his adoring fans. You know, Linus, that's not really true. Yes, it is, Charlie Brown. Will you go wait with me in the pumpkin patch? The what pumpkin patch? No, I won't be doing that. And then you spend all night alone, and you lose out on trick-or-treating. The end.
And it's symbolic, you see. You lose out on theorizing for the later part of the comic and hoping for your favorite character was returned because you're just convinced it's over. When in reality, you miss out on some of the coolest arcs in Homestuck that go on for thousands of pages.
We got 1 page today. That was something.
It was 1 page. I don't like that we're jumping around too much. We're getting too much plot and too little character development. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's really wussed it. And with the whole retcon thing, I mean, I'm not attached to any of the characters anymore.
Skipping a lot of conversations.
I'm not attached to most of the characters anymore, you know? Mm-hmm. Suddenly, Karkat and Kanaya, who I loved Karkat and Kanaya so much. I used to roleplay them on Miss Pop. I used to read all the chats.
Average Hussey-style writing. He's introduced so many alternate selves that we just don't care about their well-being anymore.
But the whole point is to break out of your well-being, break out of the game and realize your well-being is more important.
He's going to try to steer to that as we come to the end. But we as readers feel unconnected to the characters. He's got to pull some twist. Like, eliminate every Doom self possible. So it's just the final cast remaining.
He's going to have to pull something.
Pull them all. I don't know how he's going to do it.
Imagine if he never brought this up again. We just continued. They beat the assassin. It was boring in the end. I would just go to McCon and I said, what was the point of half of the scenes of the comic then?
About the worst way in Homestuck, and then we all agree that fade to black with credits is worse than loop back to the first page.
Yeah,
those are the 2 major horrible endings we don't want. And I think generic credits is worse.
Yep. It is.
And then I time traveled and retcon back, and the first page happened, and the game never started the end.
I mean, there's a way to end this, but fade to black credits isn't. There's a much better way you can end this, and I don't know how you do it, but
never-ending story is the only way to end it.
Yeah.
Get made up with the reader. Bring the reader in, and then complete the circle with Hive Swap. I don't know.
But, like, we've lost the attachment to the characters, but the main thing I'm always going to use as proof to people say, well, this is just the timeline, you have to stick with these selves, you know? This is the version of Kanai we're going to stick with forever. Then what was the point of half of those scenes he spent on that walk writing? I know Hussey doesn't have a script, now he does, but you'd think there would have been one moment where he said he had this major retcon idea, and he's like, you know, maybe I shouldn't write this entire arc here. Because if he had known he was going to do this, and he did, he knew he was going to do this, why bother writing Mina Bound? Mina Bound was the turning point where he came out with that while he had Hive Swap writing.
That was just to sell the game. There's not too much plot there.
Not too much plot?
It was a Tumblr spoof, and it was made to sell the Kickstarter.
I just replayed through Mina Bound. It includes some of the most important dialogue in all of Homestuck.
Hussey style hid some important stuff in there. But on the face level, it's a Tumblr spoof made to sell the Kickstarter.
Okay, play through Mina Bound and skip every chat with Latula, Cronus, Matuna. Skip those chats because I don't have attachment to the Alpha Trolls. I mean, they were created as 2-dimensional parodies. I know the fandom has created, oh look, Flynn's characters. The people have latched onto these characters through the little chats we get with them. Flynn's characters. But if you just play the important story chats, which is Karkat and Dave, Karkat and Mina, Kanaya and Mina, those chats are so good, and they tell so much of the story. It's Kanaya's entire arc of being Psy to Poem, and Karkat's entire arc of breaking up with Terezi and realizing that having his friends happy on their own is more important than being in a couple with them. Like, that is so good. That is so important to the plot, too. Like, when Karkat says to Terezi, I'm done. You know what? I just need you to be happy now.
But what didn't happen?
What was the point if that didn't happen?
Well, the omniscient Lord English theory says that it's because that didn't happen is important. That Karkat didn't get the development, he's not going to win in the end.
Yeah, because
I hope that turns out true.
Because if this never happened, then...
And the John regrets doing this and undoes it theory also says it's important that it happened.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the way he writes Tracy and Carcat. Something's wrong. Mm-hmm. They never got the development they needed, and they never realized their mistakes. And I really, really hope he incorporates that into the plot, because just to write it as it is now would be terrible. Echidna
just said something to them, and we're going to find it out tomorrow, as we send him big because he's going another week break.
But he's never ended the week break on something cliffhangery in a while. It's normally been something expected.
Dirk showing up got the whole fan riled up.
Okay, you know what? That was unexpected.
Non-stop fans crying and comics being made all week.
It wasn't the Dirk that shocked me. It was Whisker jumping and unplugging the window that got me out of my seat.
And that was for the forum-style, Reddit-style fans waiting for something cool to happen.
Because, like, when Dirk showed up, I'm like, okay, they're gonna meet, we're gonna have a talk. But when Whisker jumped through, I'm like, oh, what is he doing?
He managed to get both sides of the fandom excited.
Because I spent most of the week just thinking to myself, all these different things Whisker could do and all these amazing things.
We're gonna get the similar thing tomorrow. It's gonna be something with where Jade is because her sleeping body isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Something with what happened to Jade to get the Tumblr side riled up, and then them going finally to the Forge Dave Sprite talked about to find the Genesis tadpole in its little 8-ball. That's gonna get the Reddit and forums fandom riled up.
We've been expecting them to go to Echidna and get the frog so long.
Since it fell in Cascade, we've been saying at some point it didn't die. It just sunk in. Yeah. At some point, someone's gonna have to go to the heart of the volcano.
And they finally did it.
Yeah. It's not even a big, oh my god, the theories were true. No, it's like, oh, we finally got to this part.
Well, Whisker already said that earlier. The frog was more in a milk encased than the
She said that last week.
She said that directly.
We've been saying that it's been down there for years.
It's been 100% confirmed the frog's in there, which is why Echidna has to have something else to say. There's something important.
And she did say, but we didn't get to hear it.
We didn't get to hear it, to Carcat specifically. Because even Carcat said, we know the frog's in there. Why do I have to go? This is so bad. Yeah. I have to redeem myself with the frog. Big deal. And Whisker's like, no, it's something important.
Yeah. And now knowing that Echidna is the ultimate passive denizen, the opposite of Yaldbarath.
Yeah.
Kanaya had her, Jade had her, and Calliope, because it's a space player thing.
Why is Carcat included? And you know what's weird? Here's what's really weird. For the first time, we went down the layer, and it's entirely themed around Carcat? What the heck?
Yeah.
It's got signless wibbles with its chains everywhere.
Chains?
Remember? The lava has half of the Signless's handcuffs sunk into it. Sculptures of it.
I don't think you looked at that panel at all. Did you? I don't think you paid any attention to the update. That's a snake. That's Echidna rising up out of lava.
No. When Jade's running through with Calliope, we get a wither and then a sculpture of the Signless's chains.
Bridge.
The bridge.
It's a bridge. It looks like the chains. Pretty sure it's a bridge.
It's both. It's all the texture themed around the Signless.
I am not confirming like, building theories around this, because the bridge kind of looks like the Sufferer's chains.
Oh, come on, it's so obvious. It's inspired by. You can't tell if that's inspired by the Signless. It's some Signless aesthetic forcing right there.
I will say that if Carcat walks over that bridge in tomorrow's update.
Knowing Carcat will probably yell about it.
Carcat is in... That we actually have Carcat in the lair.
Yeah.
If it doesn't bring it up, it wasn't on purpose. Because it's too perfect to have Carcat walk across that bridge if Hussey really meant that parallel. So, tomorrow's update is sound, Carcat and Kanaya.
Return to core?
No, go for some spaghetti at Peaches and they walk across the bridge.
No, we're not doing a Mario. Oh no, Hotel Mario parody.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Carcat and I are gonna walk over the bridge and get the letter saying the tadpole's in another castle, and then it shows Lord English laughing.
Where did they put Jade?
They left her with the denizen.
In all seriousness, though,
they capture logged her.
Jade even told the Kanaya in Act 5 they were going to be best friends when they got in the media. And Carcat told the Jade, I really want to talk to you in the media. They were like the best of buds, those three. They got in memos, they talked, and they made Cascade together.
They capture log Jade.
Maybe.
She's in Carcat's little chained up thing.
Oh, God.
Or Kanaya. We never saw Kanaya's.
We don't know what Kanaya's is.
Something sewing related. Or light related.
Wait, a sewing related? Oh, how would... Maybe... How would that work?
It's just a tote bag, a little drawstring bag. It's just a bag. No, it's my capsulog. It's just a bag, Kanaya. I sewed it myself.
But... Those two would not let go of Jade. Something went on. Something, Echidna took Jade, maybe, or... I mean, even if Echidna said, I'd like you to hand Jade over. Why would Kanai and Cockhat?
I'm thinking of Homestuck.
Hi.
Like, I'm vaguely remembering a capture log system where you had to put a needle and a thread in the correct...
That's Homestuck.
And that was Roses and Homestuck. Heinous, I don't know.
I don't think there's any reason why Kanai and Cockhat will both go, oh, yes, Dennis, in here, take Jade. Yeah, take Jade. And they just throw Jade to Echidna. Yeah. Unless we really do directly...
Well, she told Cockhat the thing.
Which we don't get to see.
Anyone's mind.
Oh my god, amazing. Cockhat.
She told Jade the thing back in Act 5 when you get to see it.
Oh my god, Cockhat's finding out more things we have no clues about. I cannot believe... I've never seen this happen before. Yeah, but we never saw what Jade heard. We never saw.
Some clue to shrink the planets. She asked Jade to bring her with them, to bring the denizens to the new session.
Yeah.
That's all she said.
But what if there was more stuff he told her?
That's an empty blank that Hussey might never mention again because he told us. She said to bring the denizens. But if he needs to shoehorn something in, that's a nice place to shoehorn stuff.
Yeah. Where is he going with this? Yes. Where's he going with this? I mean, we have the corners. We're not going to spite Jade again. Like, that would completely go backwards.
He's just trying to get all the denizens to be shown before the end of the comic. And we can't see their faces for some reason.
The cherub heads.
They're probably cherubs, yeah.
Yeah, they're probably cherub heads.
But they aren't on the web browser.
You think John would have noticed then, though, when he went to Typeus?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'd have went, oh my god, you still punted him.
Then again, everything in the Homestuck universe has those cheeks, so...
Yeah. John's never seen Little Cal, though.
I'm trying to... I was about to like Dave didn't point... No, Dave hasn't seen a denizen. But John hasn't seen Little Cal.
Even though he was on the SIP for 3 years, he still never saw Little Cal.
No. John has seen Caliborn, and no one else knows what cherubs look like.
If John saw...
Roxy does now.
Yeah.
But Roxy didn't flip out when she saw Callie right now. So she's seen her before. Because this is obviously a Roxy from after the final battle.
Yeah.
They fight the Condis and Spade Slick and stuff, and then go and get Callie. Callie's not going to show up and be part of that battle.
Is this Roxy from the end of Homestuck?
No, because like, she gets sucked in... No, well, maybe.
She doesn't get sucked in the house.
The ring does. Unless she pick... Okay.
Oh, wait. No, she gets... The wing gets sucked up, and then she gets...
The ring doesn't get sucked up. It falls off his finger.
Oh, okay.
So either this ring Callie has on ends up in Caliborn's hands and he uses it to get the juju, or they suck Caliborn in the juju, he drops the ring, Roxy picks it up, and then goes and gives it to Callie. Well, it could go either way.
She also has to end up in the bubble. From what we've seen, Caliborn KOs Roxy by beating her up to a bloody pulp.
But she has the ring, so she's awake when she
has
it.
Okay.
Remember, this future Roxy has voidy powers.
She can zap anyone. Okay.
No, she doesn't zap. She disappears from the comic and then reappears in the comic where she needs to be.
Okay.
John moves Maida through the comic. Roxy leaves it and comes back.
That's why she can completely just leave it. She's gone.
Yeah.
She zaps right out.
And she can warp things out of the comic, which didn't work.
Yeah.
She warped Little Cal into the void, which, instead of taking him out of the comic, put him into every single moment of the comic ever to exist, which is horrible.
With the most recent thing, she just voided out the panel so we couldn't see her.
Yeah, that panel doesn't exist. She voided it out. Roxy's been voiding out panels to Callie since Act 6, Act 1.
Yeah, but does that mean she has, like... Was that intentional? Does he know?
Probably now.
With John? I mean, this is a really late Roxy. He's like, let's go, Calliope.
She took Calliope's hand and everything, just like John did to her.
Yeah,
Yes, it's a visual callback, but Roxy's also doing it on purpose.
Oh, I theory. Here we go. Roxy just proposed to Calliope. They're gonna get married. They want to have their wedding in peace. He blocked the comic from us, so they can go have their wedding.
Yep.
There you go.
Then Callie turns into a giant snake.
Yep. Denizens.
Yeah. Denizens are just really turned on cherubs.
Maybe. That's an interesting crack theory right there.
They're not big enough, though.
Yeah.
Cherubs are supposed to be the size of a universe when they go snake form. The size of a galaxy.
Well. So what are we going to open up with the next update? We got to continue with Kalkan and Kanaya.
It's going to be another page. It's going to be a vertical scroll instead of horizontal.
Of them walking down the bridge.
It's going to be a giant chamber with the forge, whatever it actually looks like. Because now that we know things are literal, there's a literal giant forge there for Hephaestus to use. And it's going to scroll all the way down to the tadpole with Karkat reaching for it.
Oh, okay. Is it going to be a callback to him reaching towards the door with his arm?
Maybe, because you can't do that in a vertical scroll, then it'd have to be multi-page.
Yeah. You think he'll do that?
I'm calling it vertical scroll, and it's going to end with Karkat holding the frog.
Okay. Then jump characters again?
And then a week off.
Aww. You really think it's just going to end with Karkat holding the frog?
Then we're probably finally going to jump to Dave and Dirk.
Yeah.
That's where I would go. Because we've seen the setup on the lily pad. We've seen what's happening in the dream bubbles. We've seen what's happening with Karkat and Kanaya. Now we either need to see John and Terezi or Dave and Dirk. And John and Terezi are going after the Condis, and that's a hard scene to have.
Terezi's with Dave and Dirk.
Oh, yeah, it's John. No.
Terezi's with Dave and Dirk.
You're right.
To go after Union Jack.
Who's John with against Condis? John,
Rose,
Roxy,
right?
And
John, Roxy, and Rose.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Rose Sprite was supposed to be operating the windows, but now sees Japro Rose Sprite.
Yeah, I think you should do it better now.
Yeah.
But we're not going to see the Conda scene till last, because that's a great lead into the battle.
Yeah.
We're going to see Dave and Dirk have their generic meeting talk first. They're going to rap to each other or something.
Maybe Sawtooth will show up and Square Wave.
Yeah. And then we'll cut to the Condis scene where John's going to talk with the Condis, and Hussey's going to find this as the final moment to shoehorn in John's family.
Yeah.
Who Dad Egbert's parents are, why she's in love with Colonel Sassacre, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I can only see us doing the final battle after that.
No, you're forgetting Vriska and her ghost self. You're forgetting Jake and Spade Slick. You're forgetting WV and PM and Beck.
Oh,
you're forgetting what Jade is.
There's so much juggling here.
You're forgetting alternate Calliope going after Lord Inglis.
We are still, though, relatively running low on little subplots to follow, and at some point, Hussey has to get to the battle.
No, we have so many plots. We're forgetting about Tavros and Tavros Sprite and his prototyping. You're forgetting about the Colonel Sprite.
Well,
you're forgetting...
assuming Hussey gets to everything, you're forgetting about Solix,
Oadia, yeah.
Nepeta, and Pfeffery. Casey.
He has so much to do. You really think we're gonna just jump into the final
Alpha,
battle?
Dave, and
no.
Rose.
No, there's no jumping into a final battle. And he doesn't even want to do a final battle, so he'll find clever ways around it. You know he will.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, what about the Condis? You can't... How do you kill her?
I don't know. Almost any character is justifiable to kill. You get to get the kill.
I don't think anyone's gonna get the kill. I think she's gonna end up killing herself with her own creation. I mean, that's the best way to kill them.
Yeah, but
I've said that before.
Is her own creation the Betty Crocker brand against John?
Or is
her own creation the Hemospectrum against Karkat? Because he's the Limeblood mutant?
He's leading it more towards John's family.
Yeah.
Though I'd like her to fall and born in the Fords, because what better thing to kill her than the mutated red blood?
But you're also forgetting the WV setup. That he...
I forgot about that.
WV drank a cab of tab and said, whatever witch concocted this elixir is one worthy of your respect, and you'll do anything for her. Well, Pfeffery, the witch of...
she's not Pfeffery, she's Mina.
Well, yeah, but Pfeffery's the witch of life, and the Empress is the one who made Tav, and so Condis probably made Tab.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And WV has to put on the ring, like John said. WV still got a lot of setup. I have a giant theory post from 2 years ago on it.
Where can listeners find this theory post?
On my blog. I'll link to it on the Reddit.
Okay. But
you find out Beware Skimp, but I don't use that.
So,
really.
Do you really think John would just walk up and kill the Condis, though?
No, they're just going to talk about his family. John may get the kill through some allergy she has we're going to find out about. It's the peanut thing. But Karkat could get it with a sickle, and that'd be justifiable. WV could kill her, and there's a lot there. Spade Slick is supposed to kill the Black Queen of the Session.
He's going to make out with the Condis.
The Black Queen...
Spade Slick is going to make out with the Condis and get a kiss masses with her.
The Black Queen of the Session is not supposed to be killed. She's supposed to be exiled.
Yeah.
That's also supposed to... Remember, she's the Black Queen now.
But They have to team up with Spade. Remember, whatever John, Rose, and Roxy do against the Condis, they're not going to win. Because no matter what happens, it has to be character walking with Spade Slick versus Condis. Because that's how the side quest of Suburb goes.
Droog is also still around.
Could he walk for the quest? It's got to be you and a version of Jack Noir go up against a version of the Black Queen.
Yeah.
So someone's going to go with Spade Slick to go fight the Condis.
Spade Slick versus the... At some point before the Condis dies, she needs to have a conversation with John, Karkat, and Spade Slick.
Yep.
Which is a lot to do in a month and a half.
Possibly WV on top of this.
Possibly WV, but he's at the very least, WV is going to put on the ring and kill Kanaya and Terezi.
Why those two?
Because that's the chalk he ate.
Oh. And those two don't fit anywhere in the Caliborn battle. They don't fit anywhere in the final battle itself, you know?
No, they have no grudges against the Condis, Union Jack, Caliborn, Lord English.
They aren't needed either for any of the quests.
They also don't have any powers that are needed.
Strider's versus Union Jack makes sense. Yeah. Trezi's just shoehorned in.
Trezi already did her God tier power moment. Which is the retcon.
That was her payoff.
Kanaya doesn't, as far as we've seen, never had God tier powers. She doesn't have powers.
And there's so many space players, she doesn't even need to frog count with Karkat. No. Jade could do it.
Her only thing is to talk to the denizen, which she just did.
Yep. Well.
WV eats green things.
So he's gonna kill Terezi and...
I say, if he puts on the ring and loses his mind and accidentally kills people like he did before with the Rising Army against Jack in his dream...
Terezi and Kanaya.
Then it's probably gonna be Terezi and Kanaya.
This Terezi can't do anything, really. I mean... We've ended all because he lived the normal life now in the Assassin, but he can't do anything in the final battle. She doesn't know how to use her powers.
I wrote all this WV theory back before Game Over, before there was a new timeline. So this was still assuming Dave Rezi was a thing.
Oh, God.
And the ultimate horrible thing for Dave's precious mare to do is to kill Terezi.
He said he wasn't even with Terezi anymore.
But that didn't happen this time. So
yeah.
Vriska's going to get upset at the mayor.
Yeah.
But Vriska, I also wrote in that theory that
Vriska gets upset at the mayor because he did that in the dream. He kicks him.
Exactly. In WV's dream, WV loses his mind, prototypes, and murders all his followers. But then Vriska shows up and wakes him back up and frees him. And I was so confused in my theory. How is Vriska going to do that? She's not around. Will Arania do it? I just don't know. This time Vriska's around.
And she was in a relationship with Terezi.
And she was in a relationship with Terezi.
So, Syl, wake up WV with the from the wing.
WV starts accidentally killing people. Vriska will be the one to calm him down.
Because he kills Terezi. But she's in the bubbles.
Yeah, she left. But it's more easily done than... I was thinking that was going to happen back when she was dead and not important.
Yeah.
Now that she's alive and important, it's much more justifiable.
Yeah, it could happen. So
I need to reread my old theory. I pointed out a lot of little things in there.
You have a really good point there.
Like, WV kicks the lighter.
Yeah.
And he breaks John's chuckle voodoo. That's all really important stuff that'll come back on his fight again, because he'll get the Bec Noir kill at least.
Oh yeah, that's his kill. And PM will take off the wing.
Because Jack Noir's the only Black King left in the game.
It's not a matter of he's the only Black Queen. He's the Bec Noir that killed everyone.
Yeah.
That's the one WV hates.
But
if WV killed Union Jack and that was his finale, that'd be bad.
No, because that was also my theory. I said he wouldn't fight Bec Noir. In my old theory, pre-retcon, I said that he was going to defeat Union Jack. Because he has the yardstick. He has Hussey's yardstick. The big man's yardstick. Which can destroy the crowbar.
Yeah.
It's the flip side of the crowbar.
Yeah, but he's got to get Bec Noir. Bec Noir was the one who ruined his life as a farm boy.
Well, everything went wrong. Crowbars? There's 2 crowbars. Spade Slick has one and Union Jack has one.
Yeah, but they're Juju Buecos, so there could be as many of them as there one needs to be.
Maybe. We don't know those rules.
I mean, how many crowbars were there in the Half-Life games? A lot of them. Every game ball, you just hands another one to you going, yeah, I can't find enough of these, man. Maybe that's the joke going on here. I mean, he's never really made a direct Half-Life reference, but it does have the wet on it, doesn't it?
It's the exact color crowbar.
It's the exact crowbar.
That's probably just because he Googled crowbar transparent and got the Half-Life one. But still.
It's just an all-red colored crowbar, and the Half-Life one has a red stripe to it, so it's not the same. But it's the same type of crowbar.
It had to be solid, I think, because the 7-ball and pull is solid.
Okay.
So it couldn't be a striped crowbar.
Do you think he's going anywhere with that? Like, any sort of Call back or no?
No, not directly, I don't think.
He made a Portal reference with Roxy for some reason.
Although the new Portal references kind of it might be it. I don't know. I wouldn't put him past him to do it. If he ever does it, it'd be direct, because subtle Valve references just won't work. Because Hussy's never done it before.
Yeah. Has Hussy even played Valve games?
He's played Terraria for 20 minutes.
On Steam, yeah. Look, why do we know this?
He's stalking on Steam. His profile has one comment by Rachel saying he's one of the coolest people.
He hasn't been online in like 400 days. He has no icon, and his name is just Andrew Hussey in all lowercase letters. Yeah. Like, it's just so...
Ryan North has an active account.
He's on all the time.
Yeah,
he said on his blog he just yells at people playing Steam games to get back to work.
Yeah. Toby's game is on Steam.
Undertale. Is that out?
No.
It's still...
Hussey was on Twitter just yesterday saying he's now calling it Underlate.
Aww. That's mean. Toss. So, after the hiatus, do you think we'll just go into regular updates, or big stuff will start happening, or...
I don't know. There's no telling at this point. The comic is it's been nothing but big stuff lately. He's skipping over all the little stuff.
Yeah. I thought we'd get so much set up on the battlefield scenes of Kalki and I slowly walking to the temple.
No, you get right to, oh, Callie's a live denizen. 3 days in a row. Like,
it's not even like...
God, that's a lot to take in.
When I was in Denizen, I was expecting Cockcat and Kanaya flying down going, so where's this Ford's at? No, it's done. We already talked to the Denizen.
This is like a year's worth of updates sooner than I ever would have expected Callie to put that ring on.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be like next 413 big thing.
But he's really...
No, he really wants this done by the end of this year.
So he's moving it along.
At this rate, it won't last till 413 next year. He won't end it on the anniversary. Oh,
no, he's got so much to wrap up, it's going to last until 2 more 413s. Like, we just covered all the subplots of Flynn's characters. I mean, they've all got to get a wrap-up of some sort. He created Paradox Space to say they're not going to get a wrap-up, this will explain them. That did not go as planned.
John's birthday.
Just John's birthday.
Just look at John's birthday.
And that's the final news of the week. Paradox Space in book form.
Yes, the final news of the week is new merchandise. Paradox Space is now available as a book.
And it's only a best of.
It's not best of, it's just one half. They're gonna release the other half later.
No Inaugural Death and Mr. 7.
No, they're only doing one big one per book. This was the 50-page Teen Summer Romance. So next book will be the 30-page Mr. 7.
And it has a forward comic written by Waitzel about Spade Slick?
By Poinco.
Well, really?
That's by Poinco.
Oh, okay.
It's a special print-only comic written by Poinco, and all we know is one image of Spade Slick. It's in black and white, and he's Robo-Slick.
Hi. And they said they were going to keep Paradox Space to mostly printed now, not posted online.
It's really weird because if they're still trying to be sub-canon, there is not a single given moment where Robo-Slick is unaccounted for. We've seen him on screen every second he's been awake.
Well,
some people are saying they're going to buy the book to be a goof. It's going to be him, Robo-Slick going into the vault. And it's going to be like, oh no, not this site again. And it cuts to the computer, and it's Paradox Space, the big logo. And then it goes into the wet rest.
Oh, that'd be really cool, actually. Okay.
Because in the comic, he opens up to MS Paint Adventures. And
it's Cockcat, and it's owner, not this kid again.
It's him opening up to Paradox Space, and he's like, oh, I hate this website. And then you turn the page, and it says Paradox Space Year 1, Book 1.
Yeah.
And then it's the Teen Summer Romance.
Which is the big opening story,
then
right?
It's a young man.
They look. I think they'll be doing it out of order. It looks like they want Teen Summer Romance to be a thing everybody reads. Yeah, so you think they put that one first?
You have to have the John one first because it has the logo in it.
Oh, okay. But they're not gonna do John's birthday beginning of the book. That's gonna be somewhere in the middle, so they can forget about it.
They're gonna skip around a little. It's on the front cover, so it's in there.
But with no inaugural Mr. Death and Teen Summer Romance, they're skipping around.
Yeah.
Then they said they want to keep it to mostly printed stories.
Hussey says with the next batch, the Year 2 of Paradox Space, which will begin sometime late this year, probably next 413, knowing him, he's going to only put about half of them on the website, and then when you buy the books, you'll find a little over like half the stories are brand new and they're fun to read in book form.
So he just likes them as goofy books by the author.
His original plan was to do a comic every day on the website.
Yeah, 6 to 7 updates a day. of a Homestuck sequel comic.
But at $100 a page, that got too costly for him.
Wow, a sequel comic to a comic that is still going on. It's very obvious why nobody read Paradox Space. It's 2 months on top of the comic.
I'm wondering how to make any money off this book. There must be 50 contributing artists to it, and it only costs $20.
Yeah.
They have to sell multiple copies to even give $1 to everyone involved. That
Wow.
doesn't make much profit to them.
And then,
The only thing I can think of is that the reason they spent $100 per page is because rights were included, and they get to keep 100% of the book money. They're only paying Corey for the cover. No, Zach for the cover.
Yeah.
And Poinko for the special book.
They probably just bought that too, though, the entire thing.
They could have said, here's $100 more dollars, draw as a cover, and then we keep the rights to it.
Yeah.
And then they only have to sell 5 books, and it's paid for.
I mean, that'd be the obvious thing to do. The Teen Time Romance is actually uncensored.
Yeah, they printed it sooner than the censors went up. So it's the original Tavros splur page.
Jeff, do you remember
adult content
when everybody freaked out with the mushroom?
Yes.
It's the mushroom version.
Trigger warning.
They thought about putting stickers of the word bubbles like they did on the website, but it was just too costly.
Right. Well, I tell you, listening to you guys talk is equal to a kid on the playground running up and going, "Oh, listen, I just started reading this Harry Potter book. It's so good." And you guys go, "Oh yeah, like when Voldemort comes back from the dead after Cedric Diggory and Harry decide to win."
You have no idea what we're talking about.
And the kid goes, "Voldemort comes back from the dead. He just got a letter saying he was going to school." And you're like, "Oh yeah, kid. Hang on, there's a lot going on." So
when is John gonna get the mail?
Yeah, exactly. No post on Sunday. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. You want to do the plugs, Austin? Have you heard the plugs enough to do the plugs?
What's the best thing you do to support the show? Review. 5-star review. Say you love the show on iTunes. That's the best way to promote the show. Spread it around.
Why are you listening on Podbay or YouTube? Give it a download.
Yeah. Give it a download. Tell your friends. Spread the word around.
The show is based out of a website called Podomatic. So if you want to go to like where the show begins, go to Podomatic and you can interact somehow on there. I don't know. I've never actually done it, but I'm sure you can. You can leave us messages there too. Like us on Facebook, 91 Reasons. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show, why you listen, how you wish you could hang out with us, because we'd like to hang out with you. We'd like to hang out with you. Yes, you. Or you can also support the show by going to Patreon and pledging, I don't know, $1, $2, I don't know, whatever you want. Check it out there. Check out my books on Amazon.com, The Sixth Key, The Lost Station, The Infinite Backward, paperback or Kindle download. Kindle download is only 99 cents. What a deal! If you're on YouTube, and odds are, if you're listening to this show, you go on YouTube. All of our shows are now archived on YouTube. Search 91 Reasons, and you should get 100 episodes should come up. All my movie reviews, my adventures through life, and at this point, 25 episodes of Homestuck. This one will go up and make it 26. You can binge out on all the Homestuck podcasts on YouTube. Check it out. Share with your friends. Turn somebody on to Homestuck. If I was going to give you a homework assignment for this week's episode, it would be go find somebody, a friend of yours, who's never looked at Homestuck, and introduce them to the webcomic. Introduce them to our podcast, and you can say, now we share this together. And won't that be great?
They can go through the first 3 acts like you are.
Yes, you can go through the first 3 acts and enjoy Andrew Hussey's mind-numbing adventures of captcha-logging.
You're almost the intermission. We get to sit through an hour of characters you've never even heard of in places you've never met yet.
Let's all go to the lobby.
I love the intermission, though.
All right.
Just skip the intermission.
Thanks for listening. I'm Jeff Tucker.
I'm Austin.
I'm Luna.
And together we are
91 Reasons.